Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Who would have thought that we were already on Opus 7 spoiler season? Like, spoiler season has officially started. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm not going to even waste time giving you, other news or anything. We need to talk about this and let's go over what we know right away. Opus 7, we already have the art for the box finally. Because I remember the last time we talked about like Opus 7, we didn't have the cover art yet. And so here it is. We have Bart's on it, on the cover, and it looks great. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm confident to say that the packs are going to be foils too, like Opus 6 was. It's definitely going to look very nice when you got this. But we have a release date November 2nd, and pre-release dates are set usually. I think they were October 22nd. So that's not too long. Today's the 3rd, right? So we're pretty much 2 months away from, almost pretty much 2 months away from Opus 7. So I'm not gonna lie, this is already happening. It's gonna come by faster than you guys know. So keep a lookout for all the stuff. The other thing we got to talk about is that we know at least about Opus 7 is gonna be the villains and heroes 2-player starter deck. Now this is really good. This is so I read it on Reddit. There's somebody who was talking about the villain and hero starter deck, that this is supposed to. I think it was Kageyama that said. I don't quote me on any of this, but again, the article on Reddit has it. It says that this starter deck set is going to be more competitive. It's going to be a little stronger. It's definitely going to be stronger than any of the previous starter decks. So what that means is that it's going to be easier for newer players to join in and be relevant, or whatever, like, because I have that feeling, like, sometimes when we at least, especially since I've been trying to grow the community a lot, that the starter decks are, like, they're hard for people to want to get into it because they're so underwhelming. Like, except with the exception of the Scion deck, like, if you try buying any of the other ones, you're gonna be like, okay, these cards are cool, but, like, I see all the stuff that everyone else is doing and they're pretty nutty, So the concept behind this deck is to not only A, introduce new cards, but B, have a way for new players to get into it more competitively, stronger, like, right off the bat. So just a heads up, if you guys are, like, trying to build or grow the community in your area, when these come out, make sure you talk to your local game shop and see if you can do a how to play event. They can, like, 2 players can split the entry fee, let's say $8, right? You open this, you break the deck in half, and then you each give them one. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously they don't get both, or they could buy both. They could buy the set, pick one, and play with that one instead of the other one. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things you can do here for that, and it's going to be great to welcome all these new players. So keep on a lookout. I don't have a date for these, unfortunately. I'm going to assume it's going to come around the same day as Opus 7. But we don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. If you guys know for sure, please hit me in the comments. I want to know. The other thing we know about Opus 7 is the pre-release. I did mention the date, October 22nd, but we're gonna have these. Now, I don't think this is the final image, and these got leaked a little while back, and I made sure to keep it for me. I didn't share it, but yeah. So up until now, the previous Opuses, we've got sleeves, dice, and thank you letters and promos, right? Well, in this one, we're getting a deck box. Opus 7 is going to come with a deck box, 6 packs, and obviously the promo, whatever it ends up being, we don't know yet. And this is going to be great. It's really nice. It's pretty simple. It seems sturdy. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like, clothy on the inside as well. So it's nice. It's simple, and we're gonna know what deck we're playing, Final Fantasy, or what card game we're playing. So this is definitely very cool. I'm really excited about that. I know a lot of the newer players, the beginners here at my locals too, are really excited about this. But yeah, so that's already a lot of stuff coming in just for when this new set comes out. And then obviously we're here to talk about the spoilers. Now I'm using this image first because these cards were spoiled. There is a 5th card that I cut out because we actually have it revealed, and I'll go over it in just a little bit. But this is just some of the things that were spoiled. Like, what looks like, I don't know who that is, the green top left, it has a Moogle in it, so I'm gonna assume Wind Moogle support. I've been one of my local players has been dancing with all the Moogle decks ideas, running Sarah and, like, Moogle engines, and if we could definitely use some more Wind Moogle support. It looks like we're definitely getting more Dawn Warriors. That appears to be Sesat. I don't know his real name, but he's a 5-cost ice forward that we have now. But it looks like he's going to be switching to Earth. So it's fine. It looks like if it's the same guy, which it kind of does, it's Final Fantasy V, the Dawn Warriors. So the Dawn Warriors are going to get support. And then for everyone here, I know we've been waiting, and I know I mentioned it a long time ago, and I'm happy to say it's here. It looks like Noctis will be out Opus 7. So we're finally getting Final Fantasy 15 stuff. I don't know if that's going to include Prompto, Gladio, or any of the great cast from that one, but it's interesting to see that Noctis is Earth. I was expecting to be Lightning or even a Light or Dark card, but I'll take him anyway. I'm sure he's going to be broke. And then we have Kurel here, Kurel. It looks like it's going to be another, it's definitely a monster, Lightning monster, but we don't know anything about it. So, I do want to talk about some of the other stuff. We're definitely getting new games in this one. There is, I wish I had gotten the source, but someone mentioned, or it was in an article with Kayama, that we're getting FFBE2, Brave Exvius, the mobile game. So I found that really interesting. There's no cards revealed from that yet, but it's definitely going to be something that it needs to, like, that's exciting, really, because I don't know if you guys played the mobile game, Brave Exvius. I do. And it's super fun. The story was great. It's really long, and it's quite an epic, really, if you go through the whole thing. But yeah, these are just what we know so far. Now, in terms of information, obviously I have more spoilers for you guys, so don't worry about that. And yeah, we're going to get into those right now. So we're going to start off in a different order than I normally do, but we're going to go into Earth here. The first card is a 2-cost backup, Tama, World of Final Fantasy. For 1 Earth and tap, put Tama into the break zone, choose a category World of Final Fantasy card in your break zone and add it to your hand. I'm happy that we're seeing more World of Final Fantasy support. I was talking about this the other day too. It's one of the categories that has the least amount of cards, or at least, you know, to build a deck around them. It has a land, which is great, but that's really the only interesting note it has to it. It has a searcher, and now it has some recursion out of the break zone, which is good. Who knows? Maybe we'll get more stuff to make this a really viable deck, or at least something, you know, something fun, or even like balance out the deck to get what's it called? Make it a title deck. There's definitely something that I'd like to see happen. And now one of the cards that just blew my mind the other day when we got it. It's Galuf, Final Fantasy V, Dawn Warriors. See, I mentioned that we were getting more Dawn Warriors because of the previews we saw already. But this guy's insane. He's a legendary, by the way. Galuf cannot be broken during your turn, which is just insane. When Galuf attacks, choose 1 forward. You may pay 2 Earth. If you do so, it must block this turn. It must block Galuf this turn, which is incredible. Which means, yeah, he's gonna be amazing. I don't know. I find myself wanting to play Earth immediately as soon as this guy comes out. And then for his S ability, no cost. It's called Stop. Choose up to 2 forwards. They cannot attack this turn. That's just incredible. Like so to me, what I like about this card is that he's changing the battle sequence altogether. He's choosing, like, we have cards already that force you to block, or choose who can't block, or force you to attack and stuff like that. But this guy does it all. Like he kind of controls the whole state of you know, attack phase or battle mode or whatever you guys want to call it, or attack declaration. So it seems really strong to me. I don't know how well, like he can be, like, I understand he's category 5 and he's the Dawn Warrior, but he can just go into any deck. He doesn't have to. I'm sure the Dawn Warrior, you know, engine or whatever deck is going to be obviously like useful now, or a little better. We've seen that, you know, before in titles, but this guy just in any Earth deck is going to be insane. Can be broken up during your turn. What is that? That's insane. That's great. But yeah, I really love these cards. Well, I really love Galuf, actually. I'm super excited about that. Let's move on. We have Fire now. Lulu, Guardian, backup. When Lulu enters the field, choose 1 forward. You may put 1 backup other than Lulu you control into the break zone. If you do so, deal it 7,000 damage. Pretty great card. I like that it's cheap, and the fact that we're getting more 10 cards, especially that they're Fire, leads me to believe that we're finally going to get Braska and another Jet card, or more Guardian cards. There might be a whole Guardian engine as opposed to doing, because right now we have Gold Wings right now, and then we also have just searching 10 cards, like with Brother, and we have Shinra to search. But now, Brother might actually be better because he'll get us any of those other Final Fantasy X forwards that we're interested in. And so having Guardian backup Lulu here is going to be fun. Also, dealing 7,000 is really good for cards, but some of the other cards that we have that deal this damage are a lot more expensive. They're usually 3 costs, like Fusoya or even Tella, the other Tella that we have. So, you have to get rid of a backup, but with the new Sid 2 engine, it seems like this is going to be easy. This might be played in that Sid tricolor deck. It's Fire, Wind, and Earth or whatever, or multicolor deck. So as long as you're pitching the evokers and the summoners, like the 1-drops, it's not going to matter. So it's going to be really cool. I like this a lot. And then we're going to see the new spoiler. So this was the other card I kind of cut out from those first previews. Soul FFL. Now, I probably should have looked this up, but I don't know. I don't even know what FFL is. Warrior of Light. If you control drop Warrior of Light, others other than Soul gains 2,000 power and haste. So it's kind of Warrior of Light support, but he's definitely he's more about himself than he is like helping a Warrior of Light deck. So it can help balance out Warrior of Lights if you're going for Final Fantasy. The Final Fantasy Legend is what FFL is, by the way. I was just looking it up while I did this. He's the only one that we have out of it. But yeah, if you control drop Warrior of Light forward, other than Soul gains 2,000. So he's a 2-drop 7k with haste. Yeah, he's not bad. I don't know how much play he's going to get, but this is what I like about this is that this new character art from Akira Goru. So again, this is probably one of the best things that we're going to get out of these sets, that, this is new character art. I think the Galoof was also a new character art, which is great. I really wish they would just release the art to us, because I don't know if you guys have tried searching up the previous art for the Maria, the Leon, and Furion, and the guy that we got last set. Yeah, it's not, other than the card, those images aren't out in like floating around in the internet. If you guys find the original links to those artworks, please send them to me. I want to like just have them. That's good. Like, I don't know, it's hard to find it, but it's really good, and I'd like to see it more. But anyway, yeah, these are the only fire ones. I know we have a little bit of everything today, by the way, guys. We don't have much, but I wanted to get started before it got out of control. And next we're going to Wind. Now this guy's adorable. We have Cactuar Conductor. See, more World of Final Fantasy. When Cactuar Conductor enters the field, choose a forward during this turn. The next damage dealt to it becomes 0, which is nice. Meaning you can essentially just swing in and then, put him in, swing a forward, and hope, that he doesn't get blown up by something. But that's nice. Or it also helps me think you can like do hackathon and stuff like that. But it's cool. There's a lot of ideas there. But for 2 win, tap, put Cactuar into the break zone. Choose one forward during this turn. The next damage dealt also becomes 0. So he can do the effect twice. When he comes in, and he can be on reserve for whenever you need it. It's not bad. Pretty good. I guess that's like Wind ways. I realize Wind has a couple of cards that do this. So that's Wind's way of mitigating damage for, ping effects and stuff like that. So it's good. I feel like it'll see a lot of play. But again, it's just also more World of Final Fantasy characters. So that opens up that for a title deck as well. I'm really hoping that title becomes a more relevant format as well. So having World of Final Fantasy cards are going to be great for that. And now I'm glad they showed this one already. The box art card, 3-drop Bartz forward. Also the second legendary we have. When Bartz enters the field, choose up to 2 category 5 characters. Activate them. So there we go. We have more 5 like cards kind of engine, like a structure building already. So he does have 3 S abilities, which are pretty insane. So choose one forward, deal it 5,000 damage. Pretty good. Simple. Like, gets rid of Thaumaturge. Argath. Until the end of the turn, dual wield is the second one. Until the end of the turn, Bartz gains first strike, and Bart's power becomes 10,000, which is great. It's a 3,000 power buff and first strike. Seems pretty good. And then rapid fire. Until the end of the turn, Bartz gains haste, brave, and Bartz can attack 3 times this turn. You can only use this ability if Bart's use Spellblade and dual wield this turn. Now, I like this card a lot up until I read this last ability. Now, although this rapid fire ability is pretty insane, being able to attack 3 times, that's a new median for what we had before, because the previous Barts could attack twice, everyone can attack twice, and then Titus L can attack a lot of times, up to 6 times. So there's a new happy median for that. But yeah, the fact that you'd have to pitch 3 Barts in total, like, to use this is pretty crazy, and I don't know. I can't be sure. Like, I can obviously have my opinions and say I don't know how often rapid fire is going to be used. I do like the other abilities, like dual wield is great for like a battle trick. Like if I swing and then let's say I have Maria, right? I'm at 8k. His power will become 10, and then I'll jump to 11. And then I have First Strike. That's pretty scary, you know, to run into that. And then Spellblade, obviously, I could always use to, you know, even out some damage elsewhere. But, like, the fact... I know there's a lot of recursion, but being able to do this in order to pitch 3 to get away with this, it's not... It's like the Titus one, too. You'd have to pitch it before you attack to keep the Brave, unless you already gave him Brave. And so... You like, I can wait till you activate this and then, like, you know, destroy him or get him out of here, or like Leviathan him or whatever. So we'll see. Crazier things have happened. Everyone says Titus is the same way, like, but we still play Titus, or I still play Titus because he's a great card. But I'm sure this guy will make his way out into the meta somehow. Again, he's not a bad card for he's on curve, and he has 2 decent other S abilities. What I like about these S abilities is that they're cheap. Like, these are the best kind of S abilities. You don't have to tap, you don't have to pay mana, so it's just, effectively, it's just another 2 CP, but it has to have Barts in its name. And we all know we have a lot of Barts already, but yeah, it's going to be good. I like that we have the art from the box already, kind of when we saw the Furion too, so this is new character art too, and we know it's amazing. So I hope they make a playmat of this one, actually, because to have this Bart's with that style, that art style on a playmat would be amazing. But yeah, so we can move on now. So we have Earth, Fire, and Wind. And the next ones we're going to show you they're a little bit of everything. We didn't get too many spoilers from the other colors, but we do have 1 ice, Yule, excuse me. For 1 ice tap, you put Yule into the break zone, search for 1 forward, and put it under the top card of your deck. It's definitely a very interesting effect. We don't... I guess it's good. You can do this on either player's turn, which is nice. So you can set up attacks. Like, if you do... Just because the other thing that we have like this are Lightning to put Odin's from the break zone on top of your deck, I believe it was. And then we have Ephemeral to put a Water Summon to the top of your deck. But this is the first time that we see... put it under the top card of your deck. So you're kind of setting up a card that you want to draw. Or if you want to set up an EX Burst so your opponent doesn't, like, do anything. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to see this card. It's nice that it's cheap and it's on curve and it's not too expensive, like, to activate. Pretty much what you can do is just set up your next forward draw, which is nice. I think decks with a lot of S abilities we're gonna like this. So I definitely like the concept of it, because you're going to draw it out. You understand you're drawing 2 cards anyway, so putting it on top of putting it under the top card of your deck is going to be good. So it actually almost protects it from getting hit into the break zone, because you'll have the top one and then you can block the next one or whatever. But you're still making sure you draw it, which is good. Unless, of course, they're doing Nanamigo and you're dropping the top 2 cards of your deck anyway. But that's very unlikely. So definitely a decent card. I like it. Next we have so that was the only ice. This is the only water card. Sorry if some of these images are blurry and tough. Remember, these are like screenshots of spoilers, so we don't have the actual cards yet. It's another Yagrash. He's Psycom. When Yagrash enters the field, choose 1 backup other than Yagrash you control and return it to its owner's hand. Now I like this just for a couple reasons. One, it's similar. It's a 1 cost, so searching it with the Sid 2 is going to be great. It kind of lets you exchange your colors around the board, which are pretty interesting. But it also is a good way for water to open up some backups, and I like that without having to have other ones that break. But then there's obviously that way how to get rid of this because he doesn't do anything. But he's cheap, so I don't know. It helps the curve a little bit. It's a lot of things to think about here, but I like that he's another 1-cost backup that isn't the evokers and stuff like that. So, and I think that's the first one that we've seen of that, right? Like, or that. Let me double check. Yeah. Yeah, so the only other 1-cost backups for water, or I think for anyone really, is just evokers. Is the vanilla ones. Yeah, it's evokers, summoners, and yeah, the evokers and the summoners. So this is actually the first one that we've seen that there's an actual face card that's 1-cost, and it's interesting that water got it first. I want to see where that kind of goes. And I kind of saved this next one for last because I find its effect also pretty ridiculous. And it is Exdeath. Now, it's the Exdeath, the City of Final Fantasy art, and is a wizard backup, 6-cost. When Exdeath enters the field, choose a forward from either player's break zone. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of backups you control, play it onto the field. Yeah, it's going to be pretty strong, meaning you're able to get up to any 5-cost or less from your opponent's grave until we break the backup limit, which I'm sure will happen, not in this set, but eventually. And if you ask me about that, it's because of the way Exdeath was worded. If you control 5 or more or whatever backups, I believe it's called, it was read. Yeah, so I'm assuming that the breaking the backup limit will happen eventually, but it's not here yet. But, you know, even putting this on your 4 backup is stealing any 4-cost card. I can steal somebody's Ash, like, or I can. It doesn't even have like a restriction, like. It's just I mean, like, element restriction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Zemus was. Oh, I can only reborn lightning forwards from my break zone, right? Like from your own break zone. But this is choose either forwards break zone if its cost is equal to or less than the number of backups you control. Play it onto the field. So it's, again, there's a lot of insane cards that you could possibly steal from someone, like, or steal. You know, you can obviously just reborn your own stuff that you want to see played again, but. Let's say, I think this might actually open up to a lot of interesting matchups. I think stealing Genesises from Ice is going to be really fun, or stealing a Vivi from Fire is going to be pretty good too. And even though I'm paying for these, its value is, it's almost, if you think about the value, right? So it is 6 to pay this, but you're summoning, let's say you're even getting a 4-cost. So you're paying 6 to get a 4, and you're putting up a backup on board. So your value is there throughout the whole time. I don't see how this is a bad card. This is not a bad card. This is an amazing card. There's so many benefits to this. Like, yeah, I love it. It makes me want to play Lightning. I have been collecting Lightning cards. So I'm probably going to start playing some Lightning decks around here. It should be fun. But this is definitely something that's going to change. It's not only going to change the way we build our decks, but it's also going to change how, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Getting rid of removing from play like targets in the break zone is going to be like, so White Mage is going to be really strong. Hell's Rig, like, I know we've been dancing around that right now because we're trying to stop the Layla Vikings, you know, Miners, Minfilias, and all that other stuff. But a card like this is definitely going to increase the, you know, the output of that. Like, I have a feeling that this is going to open up the Una L, the Una H's, the, you know, Water Wind decks or anything that plays Una H and Destruction to kind of start removing all that stuff. Only, you know, to weaken my opponent in that sense. Even though this means I can reborn from mine, like, or your opponent's break zone, it's just, it definitely opens up a lot of stuff here, and it's going to be a great card. But that's all we have for you guys today. I could go on, you know, topic for a couple of these anymore. If you guys have any comments on any of these, really just please drop them in, you know, the comments below. If you also have any information regarding anything I've said today, please share it with me so I can share it. I can, you know, send it forward, pass it on, telephone it. But yeah, guys, I hope you liked everything. I'm super excited for this. I have 2 more decks to go through. I know I've mentioned you say that, but there's 2 more decks coming out to you from friends that are nice enough to share those with me. And yeah, those will probably be, I don't want to say those will be the last decks before Opus 7, but we'll probably have to, you know, consider a hold on Opus 6 decks, because all this stuff is gonna, I feel like this game is nothing but gas, and it's gonna light a lot of fires in a lot of decks. So yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. I'll catch you guys later. So thanks for watching.